manage the problem that when Mario touches the enemy on the enemy, but the problem is I don't want to send the enemy anywhere when they touch. Really, I want to send Mario somewhere when they touch. So I can go back to Mario. Now, there's a couple of ways of doing it, and we've already done it once here, touching maze. I'm going to do one little bit of coding to show this working, and then I'm going to change it for something a little bit more efficient. I could use another operator. Remember we used AND on the enemy to say if he's moving up and he's touching the maze. I could use on Mario the OR. If he's touching the maze or he's touching the enemy, go to the start. So I'm going to do that first. So there's my touching the maze and or touching the enemy number 1. Let's put that back in there. If he's touching that or he's touching that, so if either one of these are true, he's going to go back to the start. That would be fair. So let's get it started. I'm going to drag Mario down to here so I can run into him. Ooh. So let's just leave him there, and when he comes back up, hopefully Mario will go back to the start. There we go. The problem is I might have 10 enemies, and what's going to happen is I'm going to keep going or touching or touching or touching. I could do that, or I could choose a different way, probably not sending him back to the start, maybe losing a life. So I'm going to stop this, I'm going to put that back to the way it was. So if he's touching the maze, go back to the start and lose that. So I'm going to have another block just like this. So when that is clicked, while the game is running, if I am touching enemy, then go back to the start. So see if I can duplicate that piece. There we go. Now that's the same as using the OR, but this time I've got something whereby maybe I could have lives, lose 1 life, then go back to the start and check if he's lost all of his lives and then stop the game. So I've got a little bit more flexibility by splitting these two up, but I could do it either way, it really doesn't matter. So let me just show you that working. So let's get Mario back into position. So if Mario's touching him, oh, missed him completely, got to wait for him to come back up. He should go back to the start. There we go. So now I've got a little bit of a game. Perhaps my enemy could speed up, that would be good. Make it a little harder. As you remember, I can speed up my enemy by just changing one value because I've used a variable to control the speed. So if I click it again, there we go. Now you see what happened there? It went straight to the top. That's because he's jumping 20 spaces at a time, and we are checking here just for 2. So maybe we need to bounce him off at the same amount as we set the speed to. So let's just do that quick edit and check to see if it works. So if you remember, to get a -2, we are going to duplicate that. Speed -1, and we're just going to use speed or the other, just bounce him off a little bit by speed. Let's see if that works better. There we go, we've kept him within realms, and now when my Mario tries to get past it, it's a little harder. He doesn't go fast, he does go, oh, he's gone back to the beginning. So there we go, that's how to handle that one. We need to start thinking about reaching the end of a level and moving on to another level next.